Peace be upon you. I'm sorry if the camera sits a bit, my tripod is a bit messed up. Please take a deep breath in. We're gonna start off with the heart. Let's see. You are protected by a higher power that also wants to help you. If the path seems blocked, there is a good cause. Take this as divine intervention, aside from above, and wait. When the time is right, all flows with ease. Vulnerability in reverse. There's fear. So change is upon you. Expansion. You're not ready to let the leaves fall. Ready or not, though. This is the confirmation that you're seeking to tread into the unknown, unfamiliar territory where decisions are based more on intuition than rationality. Don't let fear hold you back or allow a misguided sense that feeling vulnerable it's somehow a negative condition. You either trust or you don't. And obviously you don't. There may be a reason for that. It's usually to do with you, fear of change, old selves, past trauma, comparison, false comfort. It's the shadow. Time waits for no one. Opportunities come and go elsewhere if they're not welcome. Changes are upon you. Another reversal, Archangel Michael, 48, 12-3. Common project. There's an individualist take on this. So you're rather shielding or protecting something. That's how the shadow is going to play you. I burn within you everything, so the passions. There's an unexplored passion. You may be fearful of some aspect of you, or your lack or ability to control it, or you may have seen it maybe in very tense or in conflicts, in terrible situations, and you think that's all it can do for you, a certain trait or nature to you, or how do you know? Let it out, baby. I burn within you, or burn in the sense of consuming, right? Everything that is temporary in you, so that all that it remains and shines, it's only the pure divine essence of who you are. I shall help you discover your inner light. I am the savior of the souls from the hells and their guides towards the Most High. Do you know what happens at the last level of hell? Sometimes the trickery lies in false light comes through. It's not light, you're still there, but it tells you, it creates an illusion of being safe there. It's you're safe here, stay here, you're safe here. But still, there's something within you that manifests something external to guide you on a new, or continue on your path, therefore, and raise back up once the shadow work is done. So in the dark night of the soul, that's when false light comes. And the card is the light of spiritual immortality. Transition in reverse. The frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence and our lives, so that we can learn to let go, surrender to the process, and allow transition to occur with ease and grace. 7. Fear of change and inability to properly assess circumstances or situations. So the actual nature of a situation or an opportunity that presents itself to you, an option. There's confusion. You're not even assessing things. You may act out of just what may seem to be your own instinct, survival, defensiveness, self-preservation. You're about to pass up an opportunity. 33, master number, miracle. The frequency of miracles supports our belief in ourselves as a part of source, and therefore our belief that anything is possible. There's this energy of this is too good to be true, but it's rather completely unrelated to the external factor that may present itself as that miracle, a dream come true, or however that may translate, a dream job, the dream house, whatever. The impossible made possible, even when it comes or in regards to things that you yourself weren't even aware of actually needing, not wanting, but needing, as in they feel so right, yet somehow there's so many mechanisms and there will patterns and habits and that will tell you to trust and question it. And I dare you, test it, question it from the get-go. Be you, unapologetically. Don't try to hide your doubts, your mishaps, or ask the right questions, challenge something, put it up to the test if you need to. What you got to lose after all if you already decided you're going to give it up or not even take it? What do you have to lose? Test it. See if it's true. Again, ask questions, speak straightforwardly, express your needs, and so on. This is actually collectively still coming up. You have around a week to make an important decision. Speak truthfully. Shatter whatever selves, however the shadow may come up, whatever through whichever mechanism, etc. Shatter that by simply being one step in front of it. And before making suppositions or assumptions, filling in blanks and so on, playing games or trying to have someone say or do or test them per se, just speak straightforward. This is what I need, this is who I am, this, or rather just don't not hide or not put your best foot forward, but rather express yourself at whichever stage you may find yourself. Who takes you at your worst, right, so to speak? So rather than pretending that you're fine and you need nothing, then why would you even entertain this opportunity, this possibility, this option? Why is it presented to you if you don't need it? If you're fine with what you have, then, right? So you're obviously, your very spirit wants for something else, is ready for something else. But there are selves that are telling you, no, you're fine right where you are. You sure? So test it. Best way is to take a bite out of it. Face it full on. Speak truthfully. State your position, your situation, be as honest and as raw and as possible. Don't fear that aspect of yours. It will actually be very refreshing because it cuts out for all the stages of bull that we have to go through, right? The layers of conditioning and perceptions and desires and whatever intentions and agendas and needs and false personas and selves. Just go straight to the point. Listen, I like this job, but I don't know, how about my holidays? I will need my holidays at least, I don't know. 2 extra days a month, and I need my time off. Period. No explanations, no needed, nothing to prove, nothing to... If you're meant for that job, it's going to be yours, so test it. Test this theory. Shatters fear, it shatters false personas, etc. Okay, let's continue. As I said, change. 7:33 over there, 16 to 7. You need to ponder an opportunity, no matter how amazing, how incredible, how not, it's not for me. Oh no, there has to be something wrong with it. Well, discover it. You don't need to take a lifetime to discover that something is not meant for you. But it's not always on anything external to determine that. It's rather on you to determine if that's what you need or if you're ready for it. So at least entertain it as a possibility. It's what's asking. It's being asked of you. And don't let the mind sabotage anything, or anything that's buried in the subconscious. Not even something that you may translate as instinctive, right? No. All of them are fear. The unknown. Change? No, wait a minute, I just got used to this hell. You're gonna... not taking that chance. You're not the only one that's gonna experience this. But then again, you're not being asked to walk in complete darkness, except the mind will tell you that what is being proposed to you is not for you, or you're not capable for it, or you lack the energy or the resources. It's just too good to be true. Well, that's, kind of the tricky part. The amazing part about the most trialing of times is when miracles happen. You had the energy of miracles, right? We're going to read this card. It's there. Change and travel. You ready? Ready or not? Here I come. Yes, I'm going to sing. Are you ready? I'm going to find you and make you want me. I'm sorry, my throat is a mess. Duma, not that if you were any better, you would have any Houstons over here, or Carries. The angel of dreams, Duma. It's fear, it's fear, it's fear, it's fear, it's fear. It's fear. It's limiting and restricting you, your vision, generally speaking. Even though it's right there, it's gonna sabotage something. Stay right here, you're safe with me. It's something is calling you. The Pegasus on the clouds, through the confusion, through something that appears to bring bad news. If you dare, he's right there. And your heart sees it, your spirit knows it. Everything's guiding you towards it, your higher self. Only if you're there to look past veils, facades, restrictions, definitions even. Who's to say clouds are always terrible? But there's definitely something cloudy in between you and sun, clarity, enlightenment, illumination, elevation, ascension, progress, advancement, transformation, change. How many synonyms do we have? That's all I can think of in English. I'm not sure what I just said either. Angel of Dreams in reverse, Duma. We're gonna read them. You have Keter, and we have a video about Keter, by the way. The crown. If only you would grasp what's being channeled. And wow, it's just so powerful. It's the center, being centered. Union, integration, healing, service, humility, humbleness, so shattering of the ego, spiritual progress. It's based on the phases of the moon, so by new moon, which, by the way, the energy can expand. It's gonna go in stages. throughout this week. All throughout it. But yeah, there are, I believe, still 3 retrogrades as well. But up until October, where we have a powerful square, we have also powerful events as well, such as the actual New Year, the spiritual New Year, biblical New Year, and the powerful square. And we're also obviously in Libra season. Anyway, so justice, balance, harmony, beauty, Venus and Luciferian energy, so light bringing, but also, yeah, justice, karma, and so on. That's why it's followed straight up by Scorpio. So it's preparing the way for, the executing of the sentences that are being passed. But up until then, that's what I'm going to say. I'm called to this deck one more card. A reversal. I felt it. Yeah. As I said, something's preventing you from having clear vision on something. Here's the Venusian energy, enlightenment, illumination, the light bringing. So it's there. It's not out of reach. It just requires a choice, a leap of faith. Everything is processed. All you need is some form of a proof of some sort. We have the 6-pointed star here, so usually it can be 7, 8, depending. But here's a 6-pointed, that 33, but adding it back to 7, 61 in reverse, and 7. So false light. You may be grasping onto false beliefs, false convictions, and again, enlightenment in reverse is what I was saying, that you may have found coping mechanism or even managed to adapt to an otherwise unhappy circumstance or situation. It's perceived as acceptance, release, healing, right? But you are called to move past this now, to move on to the next stage. But you're fearful. You think this is the best you're going to experience. You're fearful and you feel like you cannot take any chances right now. And yeah, this is it. This is the best that you're ever going to get. Closest to whatever serenity or harmony or healing. So it's false light telling you stay here. You're fine. You're safe here. But yeah, I always see it as if you are at the back end of the woods in some corner somewhere. Lost. So yeah, comparison obviously to Alice and just exploration wise, let's just say, and Red Riding Hood and so on. So you're alone in some corner and you're just in survival mode or some form of a coping mechanism, whereas you've learned to accept your circumstances. That was a powerful trial, so that's amazing. So some shadow work, important shadow work has been done here. Yeah, you're in acceptance, but it's a counterfeit form of light or virtue, such as humility or faith, or it's counterfeit, because that's not what is how it's going to end for you. This is not the end. This is just a stage that you needed to go through, and you've conquered it. Hence, you're ready to move to the next. But you're being convinced that this is it. This is illumination. This is faith. This is the best that you can reach, or even that this is the best that you could ever deserve, or experience. So, no. No, on the spiritual path, there is no best or worst. Experiential wise, yeah, we could argue that there has to be, right? But ultimately, no, there is just movement forward, transformation, constant growth. Jacob's ladder, if you want, ascension, progress. Overcoming matter for spirit, right? So, defeating the shadow. Look who's here. Are you going to say hello? What's up with you lately? You're all about hellos. Damn, Mama. Misha. She's Misha, by the way. No. You want to say hello? Zich ciao, Mama. No. Unless they pay for it, I'm sorry. Nothing is free. You can find, by the way, if you need to see some pussy kittens, pussy cats, some feet pictures, you will find them on our OF. It's not promotional, I'm just saying. For 99 US dollars, we're also selling some courses on how not to be a bitch. And yeah, I guess this is what we've got. Let me see if I can pick up the books. I guess this is her message for you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna need the cards though, Mommy. Yes, I'm gonna take them. Yeah, thank you. You Peterly Mama. So Duma, the angel of dreams in reverse, not daring to believe anymore, not sleeping properly or processing dreams, through dreams properly. Angelarium, Duma in reverse. Bear with me, it's not numbered. Hey, are you flirting over there? That's an extra 1,999.99 for flirting, Mommy. Yeah, we don't do flirting, except on special requests. And we need them to pay forward because upfront, sorry, not forward. No one pays forward here. Every man for himself, right? Where are you, Duma? Docent to the unknown. Duma is the impetus to doubt a false reality, to crack the shell, keeping you from the truth. You see? You gotta literally break it open from the inside. Hence leap of faith, really believing. Mommy, da pussy, pupit, pupipit. Yeah. She gives kisses. Yeah, Mama. Sorry, my annoying voice again. When the world shifts around you, Duma is your guide. The world is stranger than you believe it to be. What we all dream, we dream together. Those dreams pull together in Duma's cupped hands. Yeah, they pull right here in our cupped hands. You see? Mommy, you're burning your mustaches. You don't go to the flame. To the mommy, just say goodbye, Mommy. Yes. Lip, 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 la, lip, 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 la. Bitterly. So, don't worry, we haven't touched anything we shouldn't have. When the world shifts around you, Duma is your guide. The world is stranger than you believe it to be, right? So back to entertaining possibilities. What we all dream, we dream together. Those dreams pull together in Duma's cupped hands, right? So we had the honoring, the praising, the right centering. And now we have the cup, learning to receive something in humility, because you're going to use it. So it is yours. There's no shame in receiving. That's a receptive state that all of us are in. Everything in creation is in reception. The issue is, how do we receive for the purpose of giving? What do we do with it, in other words? Look below the surface of the water. You know you've missed something, and yet you wonder what. You listen closely, and yet you hear nothing. All the while you dream the truth you think you seek. It is said that Dumai and Leliel are connected. The truth of this can only be found within the Angelarium. The sign shall be a reflection in water, a golden cage, and an eye. The one eye, I am that I am, the self as well, right? Also, it's a confirmation, right? It's an affirmation, it's a saying yes to something, but it was reversed, by the way. It's not clearly revealed to you at a rational level of what your abilities and skills actually are, so practice is required. Now you got to start trying to explore your actual skills, potentials, and everything you've conquered up until now. And you're doing it by interacting with reality, with just practical. So if you're an artist, you need to start letting that flow open and work with that energy, however it may come through. Okay, let's move to the next one. The fallen angels. So we had Seeren, change in travel, 70. The element is water. Jupiter would be the planet, and the message is excitement and great changes enter your life. Let your imagination soar. Seere takes the form of a beautiful youth riding a winged horse. Seere's steed is related to the Greek Pegasus. Pegasus, who was conceived by the god Poseidon and Medusa. Before Medusa was cursed into a monstrous form by jealous Athena. The angel Seer delights in travel, both transporting you to foreign climes and bringing others from afar to visit you. In legend, wherever Pegasus touched the ground, oracular springs burst into life. Likewise, Seer, as his name suggests, brings bright glimpses of the future. You will see it in bodies of water. There's a reason why scrying used to be done in water. Do you know the tale of Narcissus? Yeah. Hence why scrying shouldn't be just done by just anyone, because they may lose their shlit. Oh, we have another one, the Enlightenment of Nas. Sorry, 61. Or Amy, also known as. Element is water again. The planet is Mercury. Okay, the mind, here it is, reversed. So again, not clearly revealed in the mind. The message is good fortune if only you apply. Calm reflection, the reflection again. If you meet someone, see them as if they were you or you were them. It's in that ability of connecting at that degree, whereas there's a clear mirroring going on. So you see aspects of yourself. But my advice is also to focus rather, if you have too many commonalities with something or familiarity with something, that's good. That's the recognition, right? And the actual connection. But then focus on what complements the two of you. So yeah, those are the things, that the aspects that you usually tend to put on the side or ignore as redundant or irrelevant. In reality, those are the very reason why the two of you meet, because you're supposed to complement or work together in some form. So it's not likeness that will bind or keep people together or define or the ultimate purpose of said connections, interactions, but rather differences, even in needs, or not in actual intentions though, or natures of their heart, just in degrees, abilities, skills, etc. So some level of commonalities, common ground, especially if it's foundational, like values, principles, etc., aspirations, or general nature to some extent, but ultimately they still have to complement. So they're aligned energetically and spiritually. Usually it's intention or desire-wise, a wish, commonality in wish, level of faith, therefore, and so on, nature of their heart and intentions. But ultimately, the rest will actually differ. They have to complement. They have to be complementary. So don't seek for things that are comfortable, but rather for those very things that you may tend to avoid, especially when in meeting someone, or even when seeking to buy a house, for example. You may be tempted to find one that meets all your requirements, the perfect one. The advice is to learn to navigate differently and rather see the one that may actually challenge you, give you opportunities to, for example, explore your artistic, your creative side, and so on. Also, obviously, saving a lot of money in the process. The location may be perfect. You have to determine what the main important values are within you to begin with, what your needs and desires are, if they align or not, your level of faith, right? So how far are you willing to go into the unknown with nothing but faith to guide you, literally, even including in how you were made to be, and the creator and nature moving to provide whatever you may need to fulfill whichever task, and so on. So release of your own will, or rather aligning it with divine one, or personal control, generally speaking. That translates in lack of actual planning too far ahead, or if you do, at least include whatever the people may be involved. So consider their will as well. Does it align, and so on. But generally speaking, those very things that you may actually find problematic are going to be the ones that ultimately will mark the nature of said chapter in your life, experience, and what you get to conquer and explore, right, whatever is unfamiliar, let's just say. Rather than fear it, see if there's potential in it. Find something inspiring about it. There's a spark that rises. I would love to actually, make my own doors to that house. That would be amazing. And things just start clicking in places. Oh, I know someone who could provide the wood for it, and so, right? And so on and so forth. That's how you know that thing was meant for you. Not anyone else, but just you. It's not the similarities. Those are only just for the purpose of recognizing one another, right? But ultimately, it's not even however they translate at a rational level or practical wise, because you share experiences. Oh, I went through that. Yeah, that's kind of a confirmation of some sort. But the connections are made in the heart, ultimately. It's a meeting of hearts. And then from there on, that's what the main requirement is. Anyway, Avnas, remember, it was reversed. Good fortune, if you only apply calm to and reflection, and insight to your situation. Avnas sometimes first appears in dreams and visions as a bright pillar of flame before shifting into a more conventional angelic form. This is also reminding you that things will take the form based on your current degree and what you actually want things to be certain times. They will present themselves in a form that is acceptable to you, and then you will continue to transform based on how you change as well. His flame is the piercing light of consciousness or intelligence, and he instructs humans in all the liberal arts, but particularly in astronomy and astrology, at which he is an adept. He can reveal hidden treasures that are guarded by spirits, not only physical treasures, but more commonly philosophical and mystical ones. He also attracts allies to your cause. So unless you have a cause other than, overcoming pain or whatever you associate with just fulfillment of the self in certain, anything related to just you, whatever you're thinking you're protecting or providing for, if you anchor yourself into something higher or other than yourself, like a cause, you may be moved by someone's suffering, a specific group of people's challenges, or just your overall preparation and nature leads you on a specific path that will serve either a community, your family, or there's nothing of the sorts of in the sense of too little or too much, or just you fulfilling your task, right? That's what's going to ultimately, so receiving whatever you've received up until now, information, knowledge, wisdom, life invested in you, and so on, intellect, skills, abilities, just a calling and a spark in the heart, like a feeling of motivation and purpose. Then if you put that to work, resources, so on, time, you put that to work, as in you allow it to guide you to where it's most needed without you trying to control it too much. The fulfillment lies in you literally being off the path of pain, because it's the path of least resistance. Not because pain is not there, but because you understand the purpose of pain. It's what led you to that, so automatically you will no longer question the meaning, the source, the cause, nor the solution to pain. You will see the entire process unfolding because you're a part of it, you're right in the midst of it, and you are at the winning end of it, as in you overcame the trials by that time. So the wounded healer energy, the wounded warrior energy, they learn to heal themselves by healing others, for example. Anyway, so the hidden treasures that are guarded by spirits, as I was saying, everything is guarded. There's a reason why there's veils and levels of perception and so on, degrees, because only the worthy. We all gotta go through. How would it be fair if someone had an extra march on their car other than someone else, right? It usually creates a lot of problems. So though we may perceive things of unfair, in reality they're not. Ultimately, everybody has to go through the same levels, just at different times. So instead of bitching about it, see how you can beat this level and move on to your next. Don't think from things to blame, or neither be deceived by figures of light and so on. If whatever is in front of you, presented even as an option, as an idea, as possible future outcomes, and if it doesn't resonate deeply within your heart, you don't feel it. Most importantly, you don't choose to believe wholeheartedly in it, and therefore work your way towards it, act on that from that space, then it's of no relevance to you of whether it's true or not. You don't believe it is, so it won't be, even if it's right there. Now, there are gatekeepers, let's call it, or thresholds, or trials, or tests that we need to go through to prove readiness and worthiness of the next stage, much like a test at the end of school. He also attracts allies to your cause. So what is your cause? If you have an ally, can you get past other possible personal issues, or rather even see opportunities in that? I may not be good, for example, at haggling, but they are. Okay, you do that, I'll do this. If it gets too fiery over there, I can come. Maybe I'm good with mediating. I can come and mediate. So balance, harmony, complementarity. So in many cases, the people that you're supposed to work with, even though there's a familiarity, you may perceive them as antagonistic, or this may create problems. Or the self will tell you, they will see you for who you truly are. They will see your weaknesses, your faults, your right. Don't allow them. So hence you will always be on the defensive as long as you have something to hide. An authentic person, a fearless person, doesn't try to control that either. Someone's opinion of you, yeah. So there's no deception in a person who is ready to embrace whatever comes with whatever they are. How could you discover it if you keep on masking it by layers of what you would like to portray yourself to be? The reasons, we understand them. We all understand them. That, again, doesn't really help you much when it comes to how you progress and how much you heal and so on. Whether you're able to, fulfill what you came here to fulfill or not. Whatever. You may feel you need to complete. Not think, feel. The prince, the forgotten adversary. Yeah, that's it. You may feel someone as an enemy because you may see something in them, either as more advanced or purer or nicer or whatever. And there's a self that feels defined or threatened by that. So as long as you can show them your good side, it's fine. But if they get too close, you're going to treat them as if they were an enemy. Either by, limiting, restricting, blocking, removing. You coming to shed light on me? What if you're going to see all of my wounds and my defects and my faults and you're still associating with your experiences. You are still your disease, your pain, your experiences, other people's opinions. So it's coming to reveal what true healing looks like. Sorrow, lost valor, and serendipity. In other words, again, fear. But it's reversed. The prince, yes, the prince, the forgotten adversary. Unexplored fire, passion, creativity. Which you were wise to do to some extent. There's a self-restricting energy. Again, it's nothing to do with whatever triggers that within you, but yeah. Anyway, the prince, right? Bear with me, it's not numbered. He barely ever comes out. There is, hence forgotten, right? Hidden aspects. I'm gonna keep it upright so that maybe you can connect to the image. The shattered remains of a once great devil who fought against the rulers of Ikhal and lost badly, as if you could lose nicely. I mean, I guess you could to some extent, isn't an empty, yeah, there is such a thing as good losers, because I like to consider myself one of them. I made an art out of losing. And that's super powerful, right? Because it's never been for me about neither winning nor losing per se. It's about the journey. Anyway, but losing on one end always means gaining something on the other. So all that remains is to see what you've paid for to receive your reward. The shadow is putting a last one final trick on you. So the shattered remains of a once great devil who fought against the rulers of Ikhal and lost badly. Though an empty but still fearsome shell. His very presence as he wanders the borders of the realm serves to chase away the constant encroachers from the outer darkness, who were once his allies. Although he himself has no memory, the prince reminds us that to dwell in disgrace, sorrow, and loss has an impact on the world around us. So if you can get over whatever self, you also realize how you're actually depriving the world of your light, or whatever light you can channel or you've conquered or you are able to conquer once you break that final ultimate boundary around your heart, because that's where it is. You defeated, principalities of airs, thoughts, spirits that would take over the mind and so on. You've defeated the senses, except the passions. You need to go back to the lower chakra, the fire side, the sexual fires, the alchemized sexual fire. Hopefully, right? Hopefully. The integrated anger, resentfulness, lust, etc. Right? The last one was the one of lust, obviously, jealousy, possession, and the most corrupt forms of so-called love. And you've kind of beat that. Most of you, well, some of you actually, very few of you now that I think of it. Others are far from being able to do so, and there are many in charge of making sure that they don't, because again, this, once you rise, you are literally a vessel for light. Who's gonna stop you then? You're gonna fulfill your task, and it's usually one of channeling light into the world. Well, the darkness wouldn't like that, nor do those who have chosen darkness and dwell in it, which, by the way, you're still one of. You want to come back up? So the prince reminds us that to dwell in disgrace, sorrow, and loss has an impact on the world around us. So it's calling you back to presence. Whatever the shadow has to play on you right now, it's either on instilling fear when it comes to what's to come and trying to have you control it, or avoid it altogether and therefore go in circles in the same, repeating certain patterns, false comforts, and so on, because they're safer than anything else, right? Why take any chances? Why change it if it's good? Or it constantly torments you with the past, or remembrance, or false versions of whatever the past they need you to believe it was, because it's still fear, so that it doesn't happen again, right? Or it's victimhood, you need to heal. Or it's defining you as something that is not worthy, therefore will never experience anything other than pain. Because remember what they said about you, remember what they did to you, remember how they treated you, remember, right? And if you do overcome that, then it will tell you, remember how terrible you were with that person. Remember how unfair you were with that person. Remember when you lied to that person, right? Yeah, and then the judge comes in, right? And once that is all over with, it will come back around and said, right, with a vengeance, and say, why don't I deserve it? Why can I not have it? So hence comes jealousy and comparison and an attempt of, centering once again, finding one sense of self, of worth and relevance and purpose. And well, it's you're the proof of it. You are light in the flesh. God's desire manifested, his wish. He created you. What proof more than that do you need? All the versions of you, previous, current, future, external, other interactions that you may have, is simply with other versions of you. When you connect with that understanding, things change, not necessarily positively. You may also tell someone that maybe in a state that you once were in, or you experienced, or to just get over it, right? From the outside, that appears as quite cruel, but if it's necessary, it's love. So he has no memory, he himself. So whatever memories you think you have are, well, they're not real. The more you repeat them, the more they lose that initial seed of truth that could have, which is still objective and relative and right, because it's just you. So with time, you start to fill in blanks, justify, create versions of the past, and etc. Because you see, none of those things are happening right now as we speak, so they're completely irrelevant. Memory is a way of darkness sometimes to keep you there. They keep flashing it in your, whether energy-wise, emotional-wise, or mentally, or then it translates in your present. It denies you of the present and hope in the future, willingness to progress, and so on. So it keeps you in that darkness. Of course, you wouldn't take one step forward, because from that space, right, what's there to expect? Sometimes, has an impact on the world around us. So it's calling you to defeat the darkness by thinking of how you could benefit others and seeing the purpose of your very existence and creation precisely in that. The importance of everything that exists in creation. That is an intrinsic importance given by the Creator Himself. No one can contest it, nor define it, nor there is nothing that could be considered any less nor more important. The one handing out food to the beggar is no less nor more important than the beggar himself. There's a dynamics there. There's something so beautiful, so sacred in that exchange, in between giving and receiving. There's a balance and a harmony, and something that stands corrected, that is achieved. And it's so beautiful. One gets an opportunity for some form of redemption, all right, paying it forward. It gives him purpose. It helps him cope with whatever he needs to do in order to earn that money. It keeps him balanced in the virtues. It keeps him connected in the understanding that energy has to flow, and so on. The other is learning to receive. So in between anger and sense of failure, and if one were to define oneself, I guess that's the lowest one could get to, right? And ultimately they will conquer some level of humility, and again, called interdependence and gratitude, and witnessing the marvelous ways through which Father works. And yeah, from that stance also, right? The cupped receiving hand. And Goethe, if only one could see, the beauty of two cupped receiving hands. I've learned that the hard way. I was also unable to learn how to receive. I was also always self-sufficient, and I was always considering myself to be the one who gives. Well, Father showed me otherwise. I got humbled the hard way, and I still am eternally grateful and humbled by this entire experience. It was completely unrelated to me. It just happened spontaneously, and out of nowhere, a sister or brother would come and donate and literally save our behind from ending up in the streets. Saving my life, actually, many times. Not only mine, but my cat's lives, when we had both of them in surgery last year, which was a very delicate one given their health condition and so on. So we paid it forward as much as possible. Many other animals' lives out here, which I feed, and I managed to even have adopted, and whatever I can contribute to. I feed daily now. I found ways to where I can get a more consistency in feeding them, because that's what they need. But it's very hard. So I'm just saying, I've learned the hard way how to receive, but I could do it only because I still found a way to pay it forward. It's no measure of who we are. If anything, it's God telling us, I'm giving you because I know you will do the right thing with it. And He works through us, through amazing people. Which, by the way, eternal gratitude. May you be rewarded tenfold in health, serenity, prosperity, abundance, and love. And experience both the joy of giving and the humility of receiving. It's what keeps all of us going. And if we learn to dance this dance, as whatever end we may find one another, then we shall bring heaven on earth. So sometimes unlooked has an impact on the world around us, if we dwell in disgrace, sorrow, and loss. And sometimes it's an ironic self-sabotage. Because isn't it ironic? The domains are sorrow, the lost valor, and serendipity. Today I actually saw it. It unfolded in a weird manner. Never mind. Each year sees things differently, and it just came out to say tell it to a sister. And now I nearly bursted out laughing, because in a different circumstance, it's the same kind of a dynamics where I felt the collective, ours specifically, our spiritual family at this specific degree. I said, well, what are you going to do? You're in the middle of the field and just throw down the sword and say, because it was about when do you take the time to process? In the midst of it, trust yourself more. Things happen there, right there. Everything happens right there. Because what are you going to do? In the middle of the field, right in the midst of battles, you throw down the sword and say, fuck this, I need to drink some water, I gotta go pee, pardon my French. And what? Grab a bite to eat or something? What? Watch a YouTube video? See what the tarot readers have to say about it? Hopefully, if you do that, right in the midst of, a situation where your presence is required, hopefully you will be guided to one of my fellows. Hopefully, will at least balance out. And there are far more capable out there that can actually shatter through the deception, the false light of the dark ones. They're many in numbers. It's true, an army of them. And we're few. But yeah, may you be guided on your path. Healed, sealed, and protected. So sorrow in reverse, lost valor in reverse. You have a terrible opinion of yourself, by the way. I believe you've been led to a point where you've even forgotten what you went through and the things that you already stood in front of and managed to overcome and defeat. And all the times you were put in impossible situations, and yet you made the right choice because it was right, even if it killed you. It killed the self here. It killed an opportunity, a vision, a dream, a possibility. Whether it was a job offer, whether it was a relationship, whether it was whatever it was presented to you as, look, a powerful opportunity. All you need to do is do this. And you were like, yeah, bye, bish. You did it. Yet somehow you were convinced of being weak, and we act out of convictions as well, perceptions of ourselves. And so how about you drop all the selves and just be present as much as possible, of course, with whatever that may entail, however you may appear, however stages, doesn't matter. Now, remember, the prince was reversed. You have some traversing to do. And again, I know it seems a bit dark and gloomy, but what are you going to do? Turn around and go back? As if. Try and control what's in front of you. Is there any strategy you can follow? As if. No. You see the river? You go. You're already there. You're on it. Anyway. Just letting you know, this actually is supposed to, this video is supposed to also give me some insight if Father wants me to still continue doing this or move along, right? There are laws that I gotta abide by. And one of the laws says, always stop and assess the situation, not based on personal interest or expectation. But there's a process that we have to follow, so we can only go this far. So 6 years is gonna be tops. Nothing that I planned or nothing, but yeah, after deeper consultation, I know that this is it. And everything points in this direction. Regardless of my various other stages, whereas due to various challenges and attempts to literally shut down the channel or find and cut me to pieces or whatever they want to do, or however they may have acted, or hacking and so on, and spamming and all of that, shadow banning, threats and threats and threats and so on. Regardless of those, my health and the toll that it took on me to do this amount of spiritual work, energy work, was so intense, plus my challenges and so on. Regardless, we're still here 6 years later. When I started, I was given up until 35. Well, this year I'll be 41. Who would have thought, right? I was thinking I would probably do a couple of videos and will probably not make it past that. And indeed, the struggle is real. The struggle was real. It still is. But by the grace of the Most High, when in service, and if you gotta be keeping in service, still I need to adapt. You're gonna be provided with what you need to do what you need to do. And I'm the living proof of that. Either way, we have no control over what that means. We say, Father, send me Hineni Aneni, and He sends us. So Father's will before ours, or anyone else's for that matter. Regardless, one more card, and as I was saying, I was gonna give you this guidance, and I don't know, as usual, there's no plan or strategy here. Oh, interesting. Back to 6 at 33, 1 and 5. You ready? The seed, the fire, the spark, beginnings. So, Alea Jacta Est again. The choice has already been made here. It's upright. Yeliel or Jeliel, number 15. So by the 15th of this month, decision is made. You have counsel. You remember the cloud? The guidance above the clouds? There's whispers. There's something calling you. From both directions you feel, left and right, as in there's an alignment within you. Something will just click in place in between the feminine and the masculine, if you want fire, water, rational, the mind and the heart, or so it's once that clicks, we have electromagnetism, right? So you just know, you just go. The process is complete and you're ready. Okay. Fixer of faults. This angel bestows victory to the vulnerable. We see in this card saying that where there is a will, your will. So the divine is aligned. It's not the external, the lack of the external options or possibilities. That's based on your inner will to move, to embrace change, to face change, because of whatever is being constantly repeated to you, you may associate it with, either based on just actual, basic information, and you're right, but that shouldn't, be seen as something to be feared. Yes, the circumstances are challenging for everyone, but in challenging circumstances where the most powerful opportunities and changes and transformation occurred. It's powerful. If you feel the Rinascimento, how do you call it? The Renaissance, right? An example of it, and so on and so forth. So we conquer powerful things through conflict. because hence why it's the same number for conflict and changes, right? Changes out of trials and tribulations. And so the moment you realize that, you find your path, and it appears so clearly. So you may be that very warrior in the midst of a field where everybody's battling, and you just throw your sword and say, fuck this is not my battle. I've got somewhere to go, but there's something calling you or moving you in that direction, right? Only because you're ready and you feel as if you no longer belong there. That's not your job, none of my business. They can handle it amongst one another. Nothing to prove. I don't even recall why I'm here, what I'm fighting for, or who's the enemy, or who's right. What am I going to do? Just hit here and just swing that sword around? Whomever may fall, may fall. No, I don't want that on my record. So yeah, it's a conscience, something raised to a conscience level, a spark in the heart, an actual desire, an alignment with the divine mind. So seeing the bigger picture of things as well as one's task or purpose or calling, and acceptance of it and following along with the guidance. It's actual, genuine synchronicity, as Jung would describe it. Because yes, synchronicity is a thing, and what I'm trying to avoid always is to turn that into some sideshow circus kind of an entertainment, or rather commercial trick, parlor trick, because yes, you will see a lot of numbers, for example. They're not all relevant, not to you. Those who are will not escape you, don't worry. Much like deja vu, what you think, you're not going to have it because you don't want it. Oh, sorry, I think I got an accent there as well, sorry. Let's read. So, we see in this card that saying, where there is a will, there is a way. If your will is denied, it's because it's not in alignment with what you came here to do, according to divine will and intention when you were created. Not in this current form. Don't relate it to that, but in what you are supposed to become ultimately, and what you are at source before we've fallen, right? We've descended into matter. So we are all in evil inclination or corrupt or forgetfulness, if you want to, covered by veils and layers of matter, mother, whatever. She can be jealous and overprotective sometimes, and of course that's also depending on how we love one another as well, how much progress we achieve. And so yeah, this angel particularly brings attention to relationships, helping us fix faults, our own and those of others, and find harmony. If there's so egos they gotta go. If there is a situation that is broken, this card in a future position assures us that it will find a solution. The challenge is to let go of control, even if it leaves you feeling vulnerable. The lesson is there is a power that protects those who truly love. So, those who truly love are unable to be overtaken by a spirit of greed, of selfishness or self-preservation, or there's a courage and a bravery and a sacrifice that is not perceived as such, but rather as purpose, as duty, as an opportunity to love. And speaking of, the other aspect of mother is just that. She constantly eats her children and makes new ones, transforms everything. She has to witness the entire process. But she keeps on birthing, she keeps on giving, she keeps on nurturing us, whereas she's also the one who's going to have to take her children back into her. we are made of all of it. Physically. Spiritually, we are of course made of Father, which is beyond definition, or in Sof. An energy of leadership, but a humble leadership. It's the leader that doesn't want to be a leader. He himself is the change. He leads by example. He leads not in the sense of leading the less capable, or because they're better, or because they simply represent change. The necessary, much needed, prayed for change for everyone's highest good. It's someone who conquered something and stands as living proof of that. Emperor energy, the capable masculine, has all the kings in one. Capable, gentle, caring, but also strong and resilient. Despite all appearances, plays no games, makes no demands, has no servants. He has fellow men. Brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, fathers and mothers. Beautiful. Such a beautiful energy, and so humble. He's looking towards the ground. He's trying to show others that there is more harvest and more available. It's a sense of gratitude and just acknowledgement. Wait a minute. Let's look again. Maybe we didn't lose it. Maybe it's here. Maybe it's right here. As if they're seeking for something with such humility, as if the ground is hiding it within it. The answer is dirt, it's earth, it's ground, it's mother. What are we going to do about this? Look, this is fertile land right here, right? Let's set up here. Let's start working on this. It's not even saying it or demanding, or it's just the first one to do it. Very powerful. Moving. Oh, ow, sorry. You have been created for connection. A reminder, it's a bit challenging because based on your past experiences, you're kind of terrified of that. No thanks, I'm fine. When I surprise myself that I turn away or avoid looking into someone's eyes, I shall remind myself to look them straight in the eyes. So if you have a tendency to avoid something, or you feel that someone's gaze has the power to pierce right through you, and yes, see those faults and those struggles, and look back. Use them as a mirror. See yourself through their eyes. I hope you managed to see yourself from mine. Yes, we had to face negative aspects, and yours, mine, who cares, ours. So yeah, we're dealing with shadows and the unpleasant aspects, the work that nobody wants to do. But escaping it is not an option. So now that we're done with the filthy, more unpleasant and ugly work, I hope you've also seen what I've seen in you as well. What you truly are. You are a blessing and a light unto the world, someone's answered prayer. You do matter. You make a difference, because let everyone say that for my sake the world was created. Except that me, you can find it everywhere. Sparks of the divine. At different degrees, at different levels. So if you find them to be obnoxious, maybe tell them. If you find them to be amazing, remind them. Be like mirrors, right? Which is practically what we are. Until you realize, we're just one, divided into many. Many blessings. May you all be healed, sealed, guided and protected on your path. May your names be inscribed in the book of life. Soon enough, the spiritual year will also be over with. We're going through the beautiful Virgo. In the Fool card, there's the dog, which I always associate with Virgo. Spirit of loyalty. It used to be used also as a guide. They would release the dog and see where the dog goes and follow it along. The lands ruled by the spirit of the wolf, may they be victorious. As for the spirit of the lone wolf, he needs to find his own tribe, and if he does not, there's a reason why he was cast from his own family. He needs to form his own. Alphas are lone wolves, actual alphas, or how they call them nowadays, sigmas, are lone wolves for a reason. They're about to set down the foundations of the new world. A world from the heart, where the hearts meet, not minds, not languages, not religions, not cultures, not hearts. As broken as they are, they can heal one another. The same way we pray for one another. We even do whatever it takes for one another. We shovel slit for one another. We hold each other's hands. We wipe each other's tears. We slap each other if we need to. Whatever we need to do, we do, except fulfilling each other's task. That cannot be done. So understand that if one of us slacks or lacks, it falls on others. That's karma. If you meet something on your path and you feel called to do and get involved in that, if you don't do it, it's going to fall on someone else, because nature finds a way of compensation, or even worse, there will be consequences. Someone will suffer because of it, and that's on you. So if you're intending of getting off the wheel, return to being a part of the collective soul and do your part, however you may feel about it. Oh, it's too little. Oh, do you know how many mothers have come to me through the years feeling as if they're not enough? Mothers. How did we ever allow that to happen? Ever. When nature herself moves to provide for mothers. Men have as a purpose and a nature to them the instinct to protect and provide and build shelters and entire societies. And we live in an age where a mother feels as if she's not enough. She doesn't have enough. She doesn't feel protected anymore, not safe. And it's as if the very purpose she fulfilled is so redundant, optional even. No, it's crucial, the most important. So with that, honoring all the mothers, the fathers, and especially our teachers, animals, and children, our future. Eternally grateful. Also thank you for all our patrons throughout the years. We wouldn't have made it without you. Thank you for helping us survive so that we could offer this service to those who are most in need. Not just the public. We're referring, of course, to private assistance, which wasn't a one-time service. Usually we assist throughout various stages we have, at least, and move past the redundant and the conditioning, and we don't get stuck on things. We went straight to shadow work. And I'm so proud of the sisters and brothers that did overcome. Whether they came back to let us know is irrelevant. I know, I felt it, that they were out of very dark places. So yeah. Shalom, shalom. Peace be upon you all.